28th of February 2026 marked the latest flashpoint in the turbulent history of the Middle East as Israel and the US launched coordinated strikes on Iranian targets, including sites in and around Tehran, followed by Iranian retaliation, launching air and missile strikes across the region, including Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Kuwait. This crisis focuses attention on one of the world's most important maritime choke points, the Strait of Hormuz, 50 kilometers wide at its entrance and exit, and only 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, yet deep enough to accommodate the world's biggest crude oil tankers. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial maritime trade route linking the oil and gas exporting nations of the Persian Gulf with major world economic powers in Europe and Asia. The choke point accounts for 20% of global oil and gas exports, seeing on average 3,000 ships transit per month, with 20 million barrels of oil per day passing through the strait, representing $600 billion worth of energy trade per year. Shortly after the initial bombardments, General Sadr Jabari of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard on the 3rd of March explicitly stated that Iran would set fire to vessels attempting to navigate through the Strait of Hormuz, declaring that they would not let one single drop of oil leave the region. The impact of these words on maritime traffic passing through the choke point was immediate. On the map on the left, you can see the usual pattern of maritime trade traffic passing through the Strait of Hormuz. And on the right, a snapshot of what that same strait looks like on March the 4th, 2026, the day after General Jabari's words. Within a week, there'd been a 90% drop in traffic through the strait. Maersk, the Danish shipping giant, has suspended 2 major services linking the Middle East to Asia and Europe due to the risk to personnel, vessels, and associated rises in insurance costs, illustrating the role of major shipping companies in shaping maritime trade routes. How is Iran able to close the strait? Well, it's a combination of locational and military factors. At its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz and its shipping lanes fall entirely within Iran and Oman's territorial waters, defined by the UN as the area 12 nautical miles from a nation's coastline. Militarily, Iran could use an array of tactics to prevent vessels passing through the strait, laying mines or launching naval attacks on foreign warships and commercial vessels. Hence the US strategy to target and neutralize the Iranian Navy. And indeed, on the day of recording this, on the 11th of March, a news story is breaking about American vessels targeting Iranian mine-laying ships and destroying mines in the strait. By Friday, the 6th of March, the International Maritime Organization reported that there had been a total of 9 attacks on ships in the strait, including 4 incidents that killed a total of 7 people. Options to bypass the strait are limited. Saudi Arabia has a 1,200 kilometer pipeline with a capacity to transport between 5 to 7 million barrels of oil per day. The UAE has connected its oil fields to the point of Fujairah on the Gulf of Oman via a pipeline with a daily capacity of 1.5 million barrels. But despite these alternatives, not using the Strait of Hormuz would lead to a drop in supply of between 8 to 10 million barrels of oil per day. So what are the consequences of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz for the global economy? There is and will continue to be an inevitable inflationary impact on commodities and the shipping industry, with broader ramifications for the global economy at large. On the 9th of March, the price of oil surged above $100 a barrel for the first time since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Similarly, gas prices have climbed to their highest level for 3 years. Fertilizers are a crucial part of food production, relied upon by farmers to give crops the nutrients they need to grow enough food, and the Middle East is a major producer of key fertilizer ingredients. The Strait of Hormuz waterway is a key route for fertilizer and for natural gas, which is used to produce fertilizers. The halting of traffic has prompted fears of shortages and increased prices. Indeed, the price has surged by almost 25% since the start of the crisis. The cost of hiring a supertanker to ship oil from the Middle East to China has doubled in a week to a record high of over $400,000. This will have a major impact on Asian economies. In 2022, 82% of crude oil leaving the Strait of Hormuz was bound for China, and China is estimated to buy around 90% of the oil exported by Iran. All of these price increases and supply issues will increase costs for manufacturers and energy suppliers, which will ultimately increase costs for consumers around the world. Economists are already highlighting the risk of stagflation in the global economy. Oil price spikes slow down or stagnate economic activity, increasing the risk of recession whilst adding to inflation. Here there is a link to the BFI history program in analysing the dynamics of the 1970s, where the Arab-Israeli War of 1973 triggered the OPEC oil crisis, leading to a major hike in oil prices, plunging major economies into crisis, something that you explore in the BFI history program in a UK context, with declarations of a state of emergency by Ted Heath's government, the introduction of a 3-day week and a spike in industrial action by trade unions, all as context for understanding the shift away from the Keynesian consensus at the end of the 1970s with the Thatcher Revolution. In a BFI geography context, this case study can be used in multiple ways across different Theme 1 topics. It links to the key issue of assessing the main factors affecting maritime trade patterns, where we can use this case study to illustrate the role of geopolitics and also actors involved in terms of nation states and major shipping companies. It can be linked to the key issue of how far do you agree that the geostrategic importance of maritime areas is a source of international conflict rather than cooperation. Clearly, the Strait of Hormuz has become, continues to be a place of conflict over maritime areas, yet from a cooperation point of view, over the last few days, European powers like Britain, France and Germany have pledged to cooperate to try and ensure the safe passage of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Examine the reasons for geopolitical tension over maritime areas you have studied. Again, this could be used as a case study in this particular key issue. And then the key term of maritime choke points. This could be a great illustration of the vulnerabilities that maritime choke points can present in affecting the global economy.